Hello, woohoo! It's September the 5th. Unbelievable, right? Okay, I've been gone for a while. It's been intense. So, 5D Mother Earth is totally here. We're linking up into it. There's so much to share with you. I want to go over what I'm going to discuss right now. I'm not doing the light code this particular session. This one is called the nitty-gritty of fully connecting to 5D Mother Earth. So we're going to talk about what does it mean to link it up to 5D Mother Earth. How do we do it? What happens? And then how to, then we're going to talk about the new Earth codes, how you get them, and how to access the Earth codes. What's happening to our bodies, our minds, our hearts, our mental capacities. There's so much change for those of us who are in the middle of this immense, gargantuan human experience that the spiritual beings who are divinely guiding this planet are setting us up for, or have set us up for the last few thousand years. 5,000, 8,000, something like that. It's a long time anyway. So let's talk about this. So we are fully engaged with a new Mother Earth that is a 5D Mother Earth. It is no longer 3D. I've said this before, 3D is dissolving, okay? Please tell your family, tell your friends. This is a real thing that's happening. When you see what's going to start happening later in September, October, and November to your fellow human beings, you're going to finally get that this is real, okay? So, here we go. What does it mean to link up to 5D Earth? Now, we know that those of us who've been working hard on this started linking up when the Earth was at 70%, when her web was 70% completed on May 17th. And we've continued to do that link up. Those of us who started then have been linked up to Mother Earth by about the first week of August. Here we are a month into it. We're doing lots of new things with our bodies. So now that Mother Earth is there and we're there with her, this is what's happening. Okay, the first question is, how do our high frequency and crystal bodies upload into the new 5D Earth? What is happening? Okay, so the first 25% of the upload into 5D, probably most of you have been extraordinarily fatigued, tired. Some people have had experienced nausea, dizziness. Other people are experiencing physical pain. People are experiencing torques in their necks, in their upper spine, in their lower spine, in their mid spine, in their hips, in their knees, in their ankles, even elbow joints and wrists. So this is very, very real, what's happening here. I was bedridden for a few days and couldn't make it up the stairs. It was just too taxing on my body to try to do any of that. And of course, I've been having some problems with my legs, but this just made it 100 times worse. But there was never like, I would momentarily get upset that I was struggling with my body. But I knew this incredible hope, this incredible delight in the amount of love, the amount of light that's available, the awakening that's happening. When I can look at a tree and a bush and the grass and little animals and feel like I'm at one with it, that we're talking to each other, that there's a connection, there's a whole new something else happening here, okay? So just know that if you've been fatigued, if you've had teeth issues, jaw issues, or perhaps certain joints are just talking to you more than others, you may think, I've got to go see an orthopedist or, a doctor of some kind. It never hurts to do some chiropractic or acupuncture or get a great massage. you know, or some other kind of healing body work that you know will work for you and will help release any stresses that you're holding. So I highly recommend that you do that to take care of yourselves. Why not enjoy this exciting time and not be in total pain? All right, so what's the second part? And that's the part that I'm just completing right now. I have two more days of this. So I uploaded the 25% of my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual levels of embodiment up into the 5D Earth web. Okay, woo! We're not being downloaded, we're being uploaded into it because we are releasing the 3D. So that's what we're doing right now. The second part, after that first part, once we've got enough of us hooked up into that new web, the 3D connection of us to the old web is being released. So some of us are experiencing a lot of pain as we are unhooking our spine, our entire spinal system, and our chakras from the old web to the new web. And I think most of you who are experiencing this upgrade, it may help you to know that this is what's happening. I had to giggle because on Facebook there were a couple of people who said, I'm doing ascension this way into 5D, and they had themselves under quilts, covers, pillows. I'm hiding from the world. It was hilarious. And I totally could commiserate with that idea because it is enormously uncomfortable. And so some days you just have to just go, I'm down. I had to cancel my clients. I was told to take from the 27th to the 1st off. Then the first hit, and I'm like, whoa, I am not ready to work. My body's in too much pain. There's no way I can help anybody else when I can't even help myself because I was struggling so. So then they said, okay, you have to not work through the 9th of September so that you can finish the releasing of the connection to 3D and uploading more of yourself so that you get up to 50% uploaded into 5D. And right now, let's see, where am I? Yesterday, a few days ago, it was 38%. Where am I now? I'm at 40 now. So I'm at 40%. So I have another 10% to go. So hopefully, in another week or so, we'll have made that so that we can become more physically acclimated and comfortable in the new web. And then it will take what did you say? Another 6 weeks to fully load up into it. So given the timeline, I should be fully loaded up by the end of the 3rd week of October, beginning of the 4th week of October, somewhere in there. And everybody's got their own timeline because it depends on the spiritual frequency that you are, how many layers of crystal body you have as to what you're doing and how this is working. So just know that those of you who have just started this journey, it may be a few months down the road before you're actually doing this. But refer back to this video when you think you might be doing that so that you know that you're not going crazy. There are lots of people who've had emotional breakdowns. I was so busy the 3 and 4 weeks prior to my stopping working on the 27th. I had people, their families were breaking down. They were breaking down. Emotions were running high, mental state shifting, physical state shifting. So please, everybody, have compassion for yourself. Love yourself. Have compassion for your children and your parents and grandparents, because we're all doing this, those of us who are awake. Okay. So then, all right, so we're fully releasing that. So we are releasing old patterns. So I was very clear in my meditations that there were many old patterns that had nothing to do with karmas. These were just in my system, probably from generations, ancestral lineage, and my own beliefs that were there that were being literally kind of unraveled. Emotional patterns, mental patterns, also belief patterns that didn't serve me anymore. Those were flying out the window, and I was so grateful. Okay, then the other thing was, for many people, is this idea of letting go of being a victim, and that the past is going to determine the future, because right now we are busy with the opportunity of literally cutting off the past and moving into the future anew. Okay, so letting go of victimhood patterns. If you've been a perpetrator in a lot of lifetimes, or even in this one, and you've switched, let go of being a perpetrator. Forgive yourself. No matter what, forgive yourself, let it go, give permission to your own divine higher self, to the Creator, to Source, to God, whatever you call it, to love you, to support you in this change. Okay, and then the last thing in this piece here, in the second section, is to start to embrace your own new possibilities. Because if you're letting go of the old, your slate, outside of a few karmas that still need to be worked out, gets to be pretty clean and clear, and you get to, along with the rest of humanity who is doing this massive upload into a new dimensional frequency, get to choose. What kind of world do I want to live in? How much do I want to experience joy and love in my life? How can I help but, do a better job of forgiving myself and forgiving others, and just allowing things that don't really matter, that just have our egos attached to it, to just let it go, to just be in love, be in acceptance of who you are, know that you're a beautiful divine light. When you know that, you can give yourself permission to move forward. Okay, so, oh, by the way, one of the reasons I'm wearing this necklace, I forgot what it's called. Something with water. But it is very, very calming. So I want you to know that sometimes homeopathic remedies are also very helpful in this, to help you calm down. Schussler's 12 tissue cell salts are helpful. Any other little flower essences, whatever you need to just calm your system down, move into meditation is super, super helpful. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the new earth codes. So I'm taking notes. I took notes so that I wouldn't forget anything. So the new earth codes, the new 5D earth codes, are moving literally through the floor of Mother Earth on our dirt, or rocks, or wherever that is for you. Okay, so also in the air, there's new patterns in the air that are moving through the wind, through the air. There's also new patterns in the water, especially salt water, holds tremendous amount of beautiful codes. And then, of course, we have our beautiful sun that supports the life on this planet as well, that is also sending us light codes from the sun to up-level the frequency of Mother Earth. Okay, so what does this possibility mean of having new earth codes? Number one, the new earth codes support the release of accepting abuse from yourself, from others, from your government. It's like, no more. We don't do abuse of any kind. All right? No more derision of self and others. No more disrespect of self and others. And no more allowing yourself to be controlled in thought or by laws that are not humane, by government forces or military forces that are pushing you to do something that isn't in alignment with your own soul truth. So all of this is coming to empower you, empower me, empower our new world to move from the place of our hearts. 5D is about love, kindness, compassion, sharing the good that we have within us, the good that we have that we can see in one another, bringing the best out in ourselves, bringing the best out in other people, making it a co-creative universe. So if you move into this direction, this will be super helpful for you. Okay. The other thing is that it will help you do these new earth codes is the new decision for you to choose the compassion, to choose mutual respect, to choose freedom of thought, freedom of your spirit, and freedom of choice. And you will be so empowered and hold so much light that even though you don't think that's possible, it is possible. Please be watching from September 5th forward. From today forward, different people will start to be emanating light at different levels. And depending on where you are in your spiritual frequency and how many layers of your crystal body that you have, the light will start illuminating from our bodies out into the world. And people are not going to mess with you when they see the beauty of your light and see the love that is coming from your mouth, from your head and your ideas, and from your heart as an expression of who you are. So know that these are all the outcomes of the new earth codes. And when you're the right frequency, you get to absorb them. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're saying goodbye to the old Mother Earth, the 3D Earth that was 80% dark, 20% light. And hello to the 70% light and 30% darkness. That's a huge shift in consciousness. Embrace it. Run with it. Go co-create with it. Okay, so the question then is, how do we access the new earth codes? Okay, so back to the grind, you guys. And I'm sorry to have to repeat this for those of you who are ardent listeners. All right, number one, you've got to be a high enough spiritual frequency. You have to be a level 10 of a spiritual frequency. It doesn't matter what religion you belong to. It doesn't matter if you belong to 0 religions. Spiritual frequencies has to do with how much integrity, how much love, how much compassion, how much generosity, how much gratitude that you are walking around with as a human being. How much devotion have you done to the divine and in serving one another, because our brothers and sisters are a mirror reflection of the divine energy that created us. We are divine, they are divine. Okay. All right, so how do we know that? Level 10 and a minimum of 2 layers of a crystal body. All right. Now, you want to know how to do that, you have to backtrack all the way to 2020. Start looking at my April, May, and June videos, and it will teach you exactly how to build that crystal body, how to raise that spiritual frequency. If you want help with that, I'm here to help. We can do group sessions, whatever you want to do, or private sessions to help you do the forgiveness work that you need to do for yourself, for others, for the governments on the planet, for the people who have been controlling humanity, so that you can be freed from it. Okay, so that's the bottom line. All right. So when you are at least a level 10 and 2 layers of the crystal body or higher, you will receive these new earth codes automatically when you are meditating, using a high spiritual frequency for a mantra, or if you're chanting a high frequency spiritual sounds, or divine prayers that are high frequency from sacred texts. There's the Bible, there's the Jewish texts, the Hindu, the Muslim, oh my gosh, the Buddhist texts. Who else have we got there? Sufi, Taoists, Shintoists. Doesn't matter. So it's the expanse of whatever the religions are, and many that I have not named. Some of them are primitive. Doesn't matter. Actually, the primitive ones really connect up beautifully to the divine, because there's less mental and material junk in the way. Okay, so that is how you automatically receive them. There's another way to receive the new spiritual codes of the new earth, and that is when you are the correct frequency as noted. You can access the codes by being in a grove of trees. You can be either in a forest or in a heavily treed area, so that you are literally having the in and out breath of the trees in the area, and they are all full of the new codes because they're fully connected to the earth. So being there, it can be super helpful, super healing and calming, grounding, and it's uplifting, and it helps you connect up. Again, loading up into that new 5D Mother Earth. Now, then the other way that you can do it, of course, we know, is barefoot on the ground as often as possible. I highly recommend a minimum of 20 minutes a day that you get your bare feet on the ground. And if it's a little too chilly, then you want to put maybe cotton socks or wool socks or rayon socks on, something that's a natural fiber, so that there is no interference between your body and the ground, so that you can upload all that information. Okay, and the last, which for me has been really delicious here this week, has been going to the beach, to salt water. When I first heard the message a few weeks ago, I thought I could just go to the lake, which is much closer. and it was lovely getting my feet in the water. But it wasn't the same at all as going into the salt water. And actually every time that I've gone into the salt water, I've gotten teary, because I could feel the new frequency in the water just penetrating my body. And I only, because it was pretty cold, I only went up to my hips, but it was wonderful. And the idea was to be in it for at least 20 minutes. So I think one day we did more than that because it was warmer, but the other days we just did 20 minutes because it was really, really chilly out. So being in salt water is super helpful for those of you who have access to it. Some of you in the Midwest don't, but who knows, maybe some of you creative geniuses on the spiritual realm can figure out that maybe putting sea salts in water and then figuring out how to add your dirt from wherever you are into it, sitting in the mud. I have no idea, but let me know if you come up with some great ideas that seem to work for you. Okay, so that is it for today on the new nitty-gritty on what is going on, so that you know that you're not going crazy when you're feeling terrible physically or having a spell emotionally or mentally where you're breaking down. I've known so many people who are normally very strong who are having those kinds of experiences, and just know that we're all here for each other. Reach out and be a friend to somebody who's having this problem, and or ask for help if you are the person having that problem. There is no judgment. There's only love. Allow yourself to be loved and supported. You are worth it. Because why? You are a child of the divine, no matter what part of the world you're from. Okay, take care. Be sure that your light is not darkness. That a great saint said that. All right. Much love to everybody. Namaste. And take good care and enjoy this journey. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. Choose love and allow yourself to expand. And you will expand into this new universe. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.